Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Straight Ace coming at you with another video. Yes, another video. It ain't gonna stop here. We're still gonna be talking about hunters. We're going to the next best thing that I just looked over not too long ago, and I was looking at all the the talents and the perks and all the goodies that Marksman Hunter's going to get. Even though I'm excited for survival, but as you know, they're gonna be introducing the tri spec, so you're gonna be able to switch specs anytime that you want to anyway. So I was wondering, where did all those survival skills went? Well, guess what? They went to Marksman Hunters. Marksman Hunters now have a lot of those abilities to choose from that Survival used to have. We're gonna go start off with the specialization spells. Um, you got sniper training, critical strike damage, range of all shots increased by 5%, which is pretty good. Now this is what I'm kind of excited about. Concussive shot. They bringing that back to, use on your own. So it's not a auto apply thing anymore. I believe it's still an auto apply. I haven't logged in the WOD in a while, but it's nice to see this spell back into the talent tree and you can use whenever you want to. Aim shot, we already know what that is. Arcane shot, we already know what that is. Those skills are really just normal skills that's already in the game, so I'm not gonna read them out loud. I mean, I feel that people that's watching the video probably already know what these skills already are. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, I know this is kind of messed up. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy late Thanksgiving. Hope everybody Thanksgiving was really good. I still got somewhat of a full stomach. I ate a small breakfast this morning, and I pretty much ain't gonna eat for the rest of the day. Just eating small, I guess. I ate so much yesterday, but I know that was gonna change probably by the night. I'll probably get a full belly again. All right. Anyway, next skill, Lone Wolf. Your damage dealt with auto shot, steady shot, aim shot is increased by 30%. Marked shot. I believe this is new. I think rapidly fires a shot at up to 3 targets affected by Hunter's Mark. 350% weapon damage, physical damage, usable while moving. Also exposes vulnerabilities in the target, snaring them by 15%, and increase aim shot damage done to the target by 25%. Lasts 10 seconds and stack up 3 times. Wow. Wow, that's going to be a hard hitting ability right there. Aim shot damage done to the target. It's basically a debuff. When I was looking over this spec, it seemed like it has a lot of debuff in this class. This class spec right here. Seek vulnerabilities. Target hits by arcane shot and multi shot have a chance to be marked with Hunter's Mark. Okay, so I guess they took Hunter's Mark out and it's going to automatically apply, I believe. I guess so. Bursting shot. I don't remember this. This is new. It looks like explosive shot from survivability, survival hunters. So fires an explosion of bolts that strikes all enemies in front of you, knocking them back and disorienting them, and dealing 40% weapon damage, physical damage. Also is a knockback. That's with a 30-second cooldown, 10-yard range. So marksman hunters get a knockback and a disengage. So survival hunters get a knockdown and a disengage with a lot of slows. So this is different. This is different here. But everything can change. This is just early builds right now. Counter shot, we already know what that is. Exhilaration, we know what that is. Multi shot, true shot. I believe that is a passive. Increase haste by 40%. Chance for the target to be marked by 100% for 15 seconds. Oh, it's not a passive anymore. It's a 3-minute CD. Increase haste. Okay. I like it when it's like that, actually, when you're able to control some of the buffs that you have instead of it automatically applying. Misdirection, we already know what that is. Not really for PvP. Well, let's read it. You misdirect threat to the target, party, or raid members. Okay, it is. It's a raid. The next one is bombardment. Your critical strike with multi-shot cause your subsequent multi-shots to cost 25 less focus and cause 60% additional damage over for 5 seconds, not over. Critical strike with multi-shot cause subsequent multi-shots to cause 20. It sounds like a raid spec, pretty much. Multi-shot. to cause 25% less damage, causes 60% additional damage for 5 seconds. Well, it's a dot ability too, so maybe it could be used in PvP as far as like, you know, battlegrounds and stuff like that. Finally, the talents. I'm basically just gonna wing it, go with talents I think that'll be good for our PvP, like such as arenas and, you know, some RPGs, I believe. The level 15 talents, Black Arrow. We already know what Black Arrow is. This comes from Survivor Tree. Fires a black arrow at the target, dealing 0 damage over 0. it's still in beta, guys. Well, it's in alpha, so you know it is data mined, so ain't no telling how long it's gonna be. But we already know that Black Arrow is a nice ability. It used to proc, I believe, I forgot what it used to proc. It used to proc explosive shots, pretty much. Momentum. When any of the attacks cause critical strike, there's a chance of a cooldown. Disengage will be reduced by 10%. Wow, that's pretty good. So I can see this, basically this build staying the same like it is now, just basically stacking crit every time. Pretty much just going to be your builder, your primary attribute that you're going to go into. True aim. For every successive arcane marked or aim shot used to attack the same target, those shots deal 2% more damage to the target, stack it up 20 times, can only affect one target at a time. It seems like basically you rushing a target to do damage. You constantly using these shots, so it's 2% more damage, stacking up 20 times, so that's 40% damage increase going into your shots when you're basically training one target. So a healer, I guess, when you're going to get some, you know, a big healing comp. I don't know if Elemental Sham is still going to get trained down in the next expansion, but that's what it sounds like. I think for defensive play, I don't think that I'll be in threes. I don't think I'm going to be like sticking to the target. I think this sounds good, momentum, because when any of your attacks cause critical strike, there's a chance the cooldown of disengage will be reduced by 10%. Well, it says chance of cooldown will be reduced by 10%, but I don't know. I guess that's a hard call. For every successful arcane shot, marked or aim shot used to attack the same target, those shots deal 2%. It can only affect one target at a time, and you know, doing arenas, you switch targets a lot, so I guess between these two, I don't know until I see the damage that this is rolling out. So momentum is what I'm going for right now. Level 30 talents, post haste, far strider, narrow escape. I believe we all know what that is. Well, I read them off. Post haste disengage also frees you from movement and parrying effects. Also increase your movement speed by 60% for 8 seconds. Far strider disengage now has 2 charges. Narrow escape disengage also activates a web trap which immobilizes all targets within 8 yards for 8 seconds. Basically, all these are situational, pretty much. Say if you're going to get some melee cleave, you usually go against with narrow escape or post haste. Maybe if you need to kite more, you're going to get some spell cleave, maybe far strider. I know for me personally, I like post haste and narrow. Basically, I like all of these. So it's kind of pretty hard to pick just one, because like the 2 disengages are really good. Whenever you need to kite, you need to escape. The web traps is really good whenever you need to, because I personally, I used to web trap. I used to disengage offensively, and I shoot off a trap, and because you know they remove scatter shot, so I usually disengage just to get narrow escape to proc, and then web them. Then I shoot my trap, my frost trap, because those do not DR each other. So let's see. Depending on which comp, I would say far strider. I go far strider right now. 45 talents. Binding shot fires a magical projectile tethering the enemy and other enemies within 5 yards for 10 seconds, stunning them for 5 seconds if they move more than 5 yards from the arrow, which is pretty good. Wyvern sting, a stinging shot that puts the target to sleep, incapacitating them for 30 seconds. Any damage will cancel the effect. Usable while moving. That's good. Camouflage. We already know what camouflage is. I think it'll be a waste of a talent. Actually, that really should just stay in the specialization spells. I believe just giving not a talent, but whatever Blizzard, they do their thing. I don't know, but just something I definitely would not be picking. Let's see. Well, I just don't think this would be worth it, unless you are plan to play very defensively, because you blend into the surround, you gain step for 60 seconds. While camouflage, you heal for 2% every 1 second. The first range attack dealt while camouflage would deal 10% extra damage. I kind of like the CC abilities a little bit better. I think I would have to go with binding shot. I just like binding shot. The level 60 talents: piercing shots, your critical strikes with arcane shot, mark shot, aim shot cause the target to bleed for additional 30% of initial damage over 8 seconds. I remember when this just was a regular passive. Now it's a talent. I really haven't played with the exotic munition yet, because my hunter is still, I think, level 93, I believe. I'm not even 100 yet. Like I said, I quit 2 weeks into WOD, but I plan to come back and play and check out the new things that I haven't even heard of, like I think Time Walker's Dungeon, something like that. I don't even know what that is. just to be honest, that's how long I've been away. But it's nice to see that Blizzard is trying to bring the game back to its former glory, and that's what I think they are attempting to doing, and that's why I'm covering the new talent systems and stuff like that right now. Exotic munition, you got it's incendiary ammo, poison ammo, and frozen ammo. It sounds like basically ammunition back in vanilla days, when you have the frost arrows, the fire arrows, and stuff like that. I don't think we had poison arrows, but I believe this is already in the game, so I'm not gonna read them all out because there is a lot. This is new though. Broadside aim shot will now also hit all vulnerable targets for 100% weapon damage, physical damage. So vulnerable targets, like, what does that mean? I think all targets are vulnerable if they have Hunter's Mark, but I believe you can only have Hunter's Mark on one target, unless there's change. I have to go through the specialization spells, because I actually think you can have Hunter's Mark on more than one target now, actually. That's something to think about. Level 75 talents. Light them up. This is a good change. This is a really good change. Targets affected by your flare take an extra damage for all your attacks. So basically, flare now have a use outside of just trying to find stealthies. Basically, you can just drop a flare and you just do extra damage with all your attacks. I really wish, like, how much damage is there percentage wise is just saying this. So basically it gives flare usefulness outside of just trying to find stealth. Steady focus. Use the arcane shot twice in a row. Increases focus regeneration by 50% for 10 seconds. It's pretty good. Headshot. A powerful shot which deals 820 physical damage to the target, 220% of weapon damage, physical damage to all enemies between you and the target. That sounds very familiar. I don't know, but it's a 10-second cooldown. It's a 40-yard range. So let's see. Light 'em up doesn't have, well, the flare has a CD, so I believe the CD for it is 30 seconds. Arcane shot twice in a row, increased focus regeneration by 50% for 10 seconds. That's pretty good. Headshot, basically another damage ability. I would have to see this basically in action before I could pick this. I had to see it in action, but it seemed like it would do a lot of damage pretty much. But right now I'm gonna go with steady focus. Level 90 talents. a murder of crows. We already know what it is. We basically already know what this is, but you guys probably don't know what this is because it was taken out of the game, and it's actually nice to see it come back. It was basically like Rain of Fire, every AoE spell that is in the game, basically, but it's arrows. Continuously fire a volatile ammo at a target area, causing blah 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 damage, arcane damage to enemies within 8 yards every second for 6 seconds. It's a 40-yard range. So basically they bring in AoE back for the hunters. So so you got Murder of Crows, you got Barrage, you got Volley. Volley is a lot of dang on focus. 60 focus, 30 focus. Basically I have to go with that. I think that just be the better option instead of Barrage and Volley. I would have to see how much damage Volley gives, but I believe they're mostly going to be a raid ability, but 80 focus is a lot. Now the level 100 talents. Dark Ranger. Your range attacks and attacks which deals damage over time now have a chance to summon a dark minion. The dark minion will attack your current target. That is funny. I mean, what are some Marksman hunters now? Shadow hunters? I don't know. That's kind of, I mean, what sense does that make into the lore of any? Even though I don't pay attention to the lore, but I just don't understand it. Like, what made them give Marksman hunter this ability to be able to summon a dark minion to attack the current target? So I just don't get it. Kill flip for 8 seconds after disengage, you deal 50% more damage. I'll take it. But let's read lock and load it anyway. Lock and load, beast mastery, Marksman. Here we go. After explosive charge to aim, attach an explosive charge to aim shot, dealing blah 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 additional fire damage to the target of all enemies within 4 yards. Your ranged auto attacks have a 5% chance to trigger lock and loaded, causing your next 2 aim shots to cost no focus and be instant. That's pretty good, but kill flip just kills it. For 8 seconds after disengage, you deal 50% more damage. So basically, the 2 that I picked right here will just give 50% more damage all the time, pretty much. When any of your attacks critical strike, there's a chance the cooldown disengage will be reduced 10%. Disengage now has 2 charges with kill flipped. Wow. Now that is some extra damage, guys. I will cover PvP talents in another video. I hope I didn't stutter too much. I'm still full. I'm still very excited for this game. I'm still on the hype train. But thank you guys for watching. If you want to see a class cover, a certain class specialization, just let me know. But you already know how to say it. This is Straight Ace, and I'm out. Peace.